another episode of Mommy in Motion. So recently, my family has been going through a lot of changes. We have some exciting things coming up. We had, by the time this comes out, my daughter will have already turned 1. My sister will have already gotten married, and it's all kind of happening around the same time. So, with the happy, fun events comes, stress sometimes, and I was just thinking about the different ways that we handle stress and the different emotions that can come up when people are stressed out. Sometimes, even though you're going through positive changes, just change alone can cause stress, anxiety, and other negative emotions, or just tension between others. So I'm not calling myself an expert by any means as far as dealing with stress and anxiety, but today I wanted to share with you 4 personal ways that I deal with stress and anxiety, or whenever I start to feel negative energy surrounding me. Most of the time when I'm stressed out, I'm able to control my feelings and emotions, but sometimes when I lose a little bit of that control, or sometimes even a lot of that control, I have to help refocus and kind of go back to my old tried and true ways of helping recenter myself and just help myself get back in a place of peace and calmness. So this way I'm not building up negative energy in myself or spreading it out to others around me. So again, today I'm going to share with you guys my 4 favorite strategies of dealing with stress and anxiety. But if you guys have any other ideas, let me know down in the comments below. We can always add more to the list. And if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to subscribe, like, or comment, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode. We post here on this channel 3 days a week, every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Okay, so you know that feeling when anxiety starts to set in and your heart beats a little bit faster, you start breaking a little bit of sweat, maybe your eyes twitch a little bit, or your muscles become tense? That's because stress truly has a physiological effect on our body. Stress and anxiety can trigger our sympathetic nervous system, otherwise known as the fight or flight syndrome. One of the biggest ways my body shows me that I'm starting to kind of experience anxiety or stress is my breathing. It starts to get a little bit more shallow and it starts to become a little bit louder. So that's when I go to my first defense mechanism against stress, and that is deep breathing. When you start to feel that tightness in your chest and that buildup of negative energy, the first thing you should do is just stop everything you're doing, take a moment to yourself, close your eyes if you can, and take 10 deep breaths. Start focusing on each breath that you're taking, and inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. The way you're breathing is also really important. It wasn't until I took voice lessons from my last vocal teacher where I learned how to belly breathe. I didn't realize that anytime I would take a big breath, I'd be using my shoulders and my chest like that. So he taught me how to belly breathe. So with belly breathing, your shoulders stay relaxed, your chest stays relaxed, and you just focus on your belly inflating and deflating. And I know you can't see it on the camera right now, but if you hold your hand to your belly, and if you feel your hand rise as you inhale and deflate as you exhale, then you know you're doing it right. If you can get a deep breath in that way, that's really the best way to do your deep breathing. Side note, this is also a great way to just meditate. Even if you're not stressed out, if you can start out your day with some deep breathing, you're good to go. Getting that oxygen flowing, and it's just getting your mind right for the day. Oh, another tip that I learned, I actually learned this in nursing school from one of my classmates. Anytime he would start feeling stressed out, during a test or anytime we were studying or doing a big project, he would also take deep breaths. But what he would also do is cross his arms like this, or cross his arms like this, and cross his ankles. And he would take his deep breaths and close his eyes. And I don't know what the scientific evidence is behind that of why it works, but he said it kind of brings your circulation, I think he said it brings your circulation back to your heart. I don't know, I didn't really research it, but I did start implementing that with my kids. Anytime it seems like they are about to explode with emotion or crying or a tantrum, I have them stop what they're doing. I have them cross their arms. I go eye level with them. So I kneel down and be eye level with them. I have them cross their arms, and I have them take deep breaths until they can calm down and explain to me why they're so upset. Because it's usually the time we do this is when they're crying so hard that they can't talk, they can't breathe right. So I have them kind of refocus that way, and that has always helped with the kids. It might take a little bit longer on sometimes than others, but it works. So those of you with little ones, give it a try. Let me know if that works. Now, the deep breathing really helps me when I'm able to recognize the stress right off the bat. But in those moments where you kind of go from 0 to 10 in one moment, and it's you're happy and then rage all of a sudden because you hear something bad or you hear someone says something to make you mad. That takes a whole different technique. It's those times when stress comes in the form of anger and rage, and it's just like hell breaks loose, and it's fire and brimstone and angry words, hateful speech, and just like you could black out from being so mad, like this kind of anger. And you know that if you don't stop yourself right now, you're gonna end up saying or doing something that you will definitely regret later. I know all of us have gone through this, right? Not just me. Okay, these are the times when the deep breathing just doesn't cut it for me. I'll try it for a second and it just doesn't work. So what I end up doing, I actually learned this technique from my therapist, yes, therapist, that I saw a few years back. And when he first told me about this, I thought it was really silly. I just didn't, I don't know, I didn't get it right away. But when I came to a point where I was feeling that rage, he told me to count colors, particularly the color green. He says green, for some reason, has a very calming effect. Wherever you are, you drop everything and you start looking for the color green. And then when you spot that color green, start counting how many shades of green you see that are surrounding you. So literally, you could be in the midst of a panic attack or just crazy anger. But if you can just stop for a second and change your thinking, change your route of thinking, it really starts to help calm you down. And you'll be surprised at how many shades of green you can find around you. But you know, honestly, it doesn't even have to be green. Let's say there's nothing green around you. Start with your favorite color. Look for, you know, all the different colors of red that you see, all the different colors of orange that you see, or yellow. Whatever it is, you just need to distract yourself for that moment so that all those physical symptoms can kind of subside, so you can really focus on what you're, you know, really meaning to say, or kind of just be able to reprocess what is happening. So give it a try. Next time you feel like you are being enraged or just are about to go crazy, start counting colors. All right, guys, so the third way I have dealt with my negative emotions is a way that I have used ever since I was little, ever since I was a child. It's just always seemed to help me. And I'm pretty sure it's something that my parents taught me to do, and it just always stuck. So at this point, this is probably where you've kind of been stewing over something, so all this negative energy has just been built up and pent up inside, and you just can't let it go. And now it's caused you to not be able to sleep, you can't eat, or you're just holding on to so much anger and you just need to let it go. What I would do is bring out some pen and paper and write out everything that I was feeling, regardless of how ridiculous it sounded, regardless of how mean it sounded or negative it sounded. I just let it all out. I mean, I would be like, my face would be red from being so mad or hurt or angry, but I would just write everything down that I felt, and afterwards I would read it and then I would tear it up and throw it away. This was my commitment to myself, that I was letting it go. Whatever the outcome was, whoever was in the wrong, I was going to let it go and just get over it. It was my own personal promise to myself that, you know, you can say all the mean things that you probably would never ever say to someone else's face. And as long as I was able to just write it out freely and express it in some form, I was good. For some reason, it was very healing for me, and it just felt like I was able to let go of that cloud that was hanging over me, and I could move on. All right, so my final way, my final technique is actually not mine, but it is something that I started to implement just recently. And it's probably gonna sound so silly and so funny, but it is extremely effective. I learned this method from my mom, who has been using this for years. And every time she would tell me about it, it would make me laugh, but at the same time I could see how it could actually work. But I just never did it for myself. So when you start feeling certain negative emotions and start saying or thinking or doing things that you know are just not you, it's almost like you've created an alter ego, because it's not who you are, right? This is just someone who appears when you are at the height of your emotions. Now, what you do with this someone is to give it a name. Now, this may sound weird, it may sound funny, but just bringing awareness to this alter ego can actually be extremely healing, and gives you the ability to kind of differentiate who you are at that moment and who you really are when you're not affected by these negative emotions. So for example, my mom's alter ego comes out whenever she has to deal with technical issues. She has no patience for like computers that are slow. Like anytime you have to deal with tech issues when it comes to her laptop, she like goes berserk. She wants to throw her laptop out the window, she wants to stomp on it, she wants to set it on fire, and she gets very, very frustrated when she has to learn something new and she isn't able to catch on very quickly. And she kind of turns into this other person, and it's kind of scary. Mom. All right, well, I'm getting sweatier and sweatier as this day goes on. I apologize. I did not bring any powder. It's very hot and I'm in and out of the car because I'm working. All right, sorry guys, I had to go into my office real quick and grab some supplies, which is why I look so hot and sweaty right now. I'm just like a hot mess. It's really hot in the car. It's really hot outside. My bad. So now let's continue this talk about this alter ego. I decided to give mine a name, and her name is Griselda. I'm so sorry if this is your name. I am sure you are nothing like her, but my Griselda is this really like straggly old lady looking troll. She is mean. She says mean things to her husband when she's mad, and she walks around with a cloud over her head, huffing and puffing, and she like growls at people, and she is just a nasty little thing. Griselda comes out when I can no longer control my feelings. Now, I only just recently started to become aware of Griselda, and let me tell you, I swear, like, I will be so mad, but then the moment I start thinking of how Griselda has taken over, it literally like knocks me back into reality. And not only does it like distract me from whatever was making me mad, but it makes me smile, or it makes me laugh, or it makes me chuckle, just because I start having this image of Griselda like walking around huffing and puffing in my head, and it just becomes so funny to me. So even just this distraction of imagery, it just totally changes the situation. It changes my mood, and I'm back to being me. Fortunately for you guys, today Griselda is in hibernation mode and she's not allowed to come out. All right guys, so those are my 4 ways of dealing with stress, anxiety, and all those negative emotions that come with it. I hope this helps somebody out there. If it did, let me know, because I think my ways are pretty fun. But if you have your own fun ways, I want to know about those, because this whole mommy in motion thing is not really just me giving like my life lessons to you guys, but I learned so much from you guys too. So I appreciate those of you who write comments and let me know like what you guys do for like self-care, how you deal with your stress. I appreciate all of that. So thank you so much to those who help contribute to this channel. And if you know anyone who's dealing with stress and anxiety, please share this video with them, because you never know. One of these methods might help. The idea of Griselda, I think, could help many. So thanks, Mom. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye. I'm just like, wow, I recorded that whole video with my hair like that. Okay, it's a lost cause. All right, bye guys.